Or am I merely an illusion? Very fascinating insert in our program today. The title of it being, "We speak haphazardly, we create on a whim, and we prophesize out of fear." Had the opportunity to last night watch a documentary on the life of Paramahasa Yogananda. Very, very fascinating. One of the main things that was brought out there that he actually brought to America from India back in the 20s was meditation in the form of yoga. If you've ever allowed yourself to go within and do some reflective inner vision, you're going to notice that many things happen in the form of thought and feeling, that you can go all over the place. But if you ever get to the point of slowing things down, you become aware of yourself in another way, and that is, there's a part of you who observes all of this that's going on. The observer brings you closer and closer to another reality that happens within. If you look at the program insert, and I am going to read to you from the back page, that many cultures throughout the world feel the need to make ancient prophecies come true. Now, I don't know how many of you have studied religions, but just about every religion has some form of doomsday prophecy that will happen at some far-off time from when it was written. And now many people are getting to the point of saying, this is the time it's going to happen. Their religion would not be complete without the mass destruction that is promised in the prophecies. If the prophecies are not true, then what else of their doctrines is not true? Has their God lied to them about anything else? When you operate from a very limited frame of reference that's based upon what other people tell you to be true, then the tendency is to allow yourself to be blind to anything else that could be, even if the current reality you're living in now does not support the doomsday prophecy. Let's get to a place of seeing that the external world, it mirrors our internal thoughts and our internal dialogue. We're learning to realize that life is not something that happens to us. It is something that we create, and we create it continuously. Now, let's make a little shift here. Seeing as everyone out there is having a fit over what I just said, except for those few who are saying, "Yay! Finally, somebody's speaking the truth." You see, this is something that is happening to humanity, and that is the opportunity to awaken out of a dream into an inner state of recognition as to the fact that we are the creators of life. Life is not something that happens to us. It happens through us, through our internal dialogue. It happens to us through our internal thinking and feeling and believing. The ancient Greeks recognized that some things had patterns, and they then began to put things together and see that creation seemed to follow certain patterns. And one of those patterns was golden ratio. You can see it in seashells. You can see it in a number of other things. That this pattern repeats itself, and that the actual physical manifestations follow these patterns in order to out-picture themselves. Now, with new science that is developing, it is an amazing thing that science is reaching out into the universe. And one of the things in their reaching out that they're discovering is that some of the stars that they're actually paying attention to exist and express this golden ratio. And they do it in the pulsing of their energy. It's pretty fascinating when you look and you see that something that was realized on Earth is something that is actualized in space as well as on Earth. The stars in study found to be pulsating in accordance with the golden mean. Another thing that has been noticed and recognized is that the big black hole in the center of our galaxy, it has a pulse also. And for as long as studies have gone on, the pulse has been stationary. It has repeated itself with dependability. But in the last few years, the pulse has increased tenfold. That whatever it is pulsing 10 times more. And it seems to have a correlation with something else that is coming closer into its proximity, that there may be some kind of a relationship that is causing this to happen. I am personally thrilled when I feel that science is starting to recognize things that spirituality have asserted for thousands of years. And one of the things that I want to bring forward that, of course, Einstein brought forward was in his theory of relativity. Space and time are not independent variables in our universe. They're not independent. In essence, space depends upon time, and time is dependent upon space. A concept that shatters our idea of a definite reality and the universality of time altogether. Both time and space, in fact, turn out to be mere illusions dependent upon the spatial location and movement of nothing but the observer. Now consider yourself to be an observer. You see, there is that part in you that observes. So let's just say, wrap it up, that past, present, and future, they're not fixed, but rather they are just an accumulation of spatial variables. Now, this movement of the observer, you might say, well, all right, if I stand here, then whatever it is that I am perceiving is going to be part of that interconnectedness. But what if the movement that is actually being spoken of is your perception? What if it is that your perception is the thing that causes things to appear to be as they are, and things that are appear that way because of your perception? See, this is another nice thing about science that is coming alive and awake in our world today, because what we're seeing is that quantum physics is basically saying that everything that is invisible, that has not come into a set state, is subject to the observer, the movement of the observer. And that as soon as the observer enters into the picture, then whatever is in the observer's awareness actually causes that which appears to appear. well, what if this is really what is a valuable consideration for us in our awakening? That yes, everything around here is subject to our awareness. And the things that have yet to come to pass are going to be determined by our awareness. So therefore, it is an illusion simply awaiting our input into it so that it can mirror back to us what it is that we are seeing. Now, the seeing is another way of saying our believing. You see, getting back to the world prophecies of the world coming to an end. Well, what if enough of us decide not to believe that and rather put an insert of belief in love, peace, and harmony? That then becomes that energy, that perception, that awareness, which then creates that reality. Now, I'm talking in terms of all of us together as a kind, as humanity. But then it also comes to and reflects perfectly so far as what's going on in your life right now. If your life is a wonderful experience, it's because you have a wonderful perception up and running. If you let go of that and you start relating to things in a fearful state, an anxious state, a worried state, then you're going to start seeing the invisible coming up and showing you things to be worried about, things to be afraid of, things to really get yourself nail biting. You don't even have to spend $20 and go to a movie to experience it. Okay, so taking this into account, we look and see our reality is a mere illusion, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a reality. It is a reality subject to our input. If we don't like what we're experiencing, then we are the ones who need to change the input so that our reality will then match what we want to experience. Most people do not bring these things together in connection, but there are those who do and those who have, and they have brought forth techniques to accomplish this, and one of those is what I mentioned so far as what Yogananda brought forth, and that was meditation. It's been around for thousands of years. It works. Because what it does is it helps you to clear the clutter and get to the simple of what you really experience and want to experience in your life. Bringing this to a place of what we're discussing right now, you can see that awareness, which others have said we are, that we are awareness, is affected by our perception. And our perception is energy that we actually send out from us. We broadcast it. And then life, all of that invisible about us, gets our signal and then mirrors back to us what we are sending out so that we can see what it is that we are sending out. Does it have to be a doomsday? Absolutely not. Can it be an age of enlightenment? Absolutely yes. Is it moving in that direction now? Absolutely so. Are we being helped by the universe? Yes. Pay attention to what's going on so far as what is being pulsed from the center of our galaxy. Look and see if we are becoming aware of it, then you know the rest of the universe has to be in harmony with it and pulsing with it also. Now, of course, I speak to you. This can really take what you have believed to be and have based your life upon and shake it and shake it and shake it. Look at this as wonderful. You see, the object of this is to help you help yourself let go of all of the negative beliefs you have about yourself, about your life, and realize that that's all it is a belief. It is a reflection of your perception that you have the right, the power, and the authority to change. And anytime you become deliberate in putting forth that effort, such as entering into a state of meditation where you slow everything down and then bring forth what you want, you get that immediate experience. If it isn't immediate, you will get it in time. Stay with it and you'll find that you change your perception and your world will change according to it. And you will be thankful, oh so thankful, that our reality is a mere illusion that gives you the opportunity to change it the way you want it instead of it being set and you couldn't do anything about it whatsoever. You see, we are creators. And we create whether we recognize it or not. It happens to us by happening through us. So today is simply to bring it out in another way that perhaps can help you, help yourself, come to a place of realizing it doesn't have to be a devastating scenario. But it can be that what actually is coming apart is the old world order that's based on fear, ignorance, and superstition. And what is then being allowed is the possibility for enough of us to wake up, to choose, to live, love, peace, and joy, personally and collectively. Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.